everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to Crusader Kings 3 and the Rurikid Rus. First of all, I want to apologize for the break or lack of content in the last couple of weeks. It's the end of the year, and it's been a little bit crazy. Remote schooling kids, end of year work deadlines, newborn, etc., etc. But things are looking better, and there will be significantly more content coming to the channel. I'll talk about that a little bit at the end of the video. But today we start off with our new ruler of Vepsia, Grand Prince Sveatoslav of Vepsia. Of course, he took over in the last episode following the death of his insane and incompetent father, Sveatoslav. Now, one of the first things you notice, obviously, was the fact that, well, all the debt went away. All the money went away. And I'm not 100% sure exactly where that all came or went or so on. Maybe it was just the timing also of the marriage and a few other decisions that it just kind of played out that way. But you know what? We'll just take it and be okay with it. But now with the starting of a new ruler, almost like a new era, so to speak, here on this save, I'm going to take a look and kind of dial back and take a look at the world in general, the world as it directly pertains to our Rurikids of Vepsia. So if we look at the micro level first, what is around and how are things going? Well, we have Karelia to the direct north. They've become extraordinarily powerful. As you can see that they have 4,500 direct plus another 2,300 in allies. I mean, these guys have just become gigantic. So the expansion to the north, when it comes to them, will be rather difficult. Their allies look like it's relatively internal. Then if we look here to the ones right next door, there are a few lower hanging fruits that will nevertheless be difficult. Dulo, which of course sprang out of the Volga Bulgarians, that they're a little bit too much even though they're quite isolated. Then we have Choklima to the north here as well as Chudia, all of which are just that little bit too powerful for us to take on, whereas Kagropol is a more likely adversary. So the northern tribes will continue to pose a problem directly around us. Opolye is still a problem. Ryazan is becoming more and more powerful. And then, of course, the big one here, the other cadet branch of the Rurikid that sprang out, the Rurikid Lubomel of Galicia Volhynia, are very, very powerful. Then we have the Rurikids here of Novosil, a little bit lesser. Obviously, you can see their manpower, strength is pretty much gone. And then, of course, the big one here right across the river in Novgorod. Now, this is obviously the declared target for Sveatoslav moving forward. But again, that's the world here in a microcosm. If we go out to a more macro view, let's just take a look. In Scandinavia itself, Lapland has been ebbing and flowing over the time. Sweden and Norway are definitely duking it out a lot for power in this region. In the meantime, you do have the Danes expanding here and there, and of course dealing with the Holy Roman Empire at any given time. The HRE itself still holds vast territories in Italy, as well as still holding on to some in France. Other Eastern European powerhouses, we've got Poland, which is part of the Arpad Hungarian dynasty. So the Kingdom of Poland is in a pretty powerful position here, as well as, of course, the big one, Hungary, with their 8,300 soldiers, allied with the Kingdom of Bohemia, which is still part of the Holy Roman Empire, as we see here. So they're still a thing. If we click on the HRE, you can see Austria has gotten more and more powerful. Angria, Lotharingia. So, I mean, there are a few powerhouses here. And Swabia. Lombardy is independent for now, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that. And you still have Tuscany, which is part of the Luxembourgian house, Spoleto as well. The papacy, Apulia, Calabria down here. The Byzantines are, it looks like, pretty much at war with almost everyone. Bulgaria, you have springing up here. Then Machva, Kulia is still here. Croatia is continuing to expand as well. And then you have the Pechenegs over here to the south of Galicia, Volhynia. So, and then you have another Pecheneg group right here. Urals, Perm, and Cumania growing here in the far east. If we go more into this area, the Seljuks are just, you know, they're huge here in Central Asia, but they've kind of started to fall apart in North Africa as well as in the Arabian Peninsula. We could see Abyssinia keeps on dealing with their internal strife. And then we've got Nubia continuing to grow here, Hafun, and Mogadishu as well. We now have also Egypt growing in North Africa. Bakrit, very, very powerful, along with Ghana and Akan, the big powers down here in Africa. If we go up here, France, still looking pretty strong. They've gone into the Iberian Peninsula quite a bit. And we have Castile under King Garcia the Foolish of the Jimena. Barcelona still going strong. And then the House of Barcelona in Aragon. There's no full Reconquista yet, it looks like, going on. But Castile, well, I guess they are in a war here with the Aftasids. And the Aftasids are losing. In fact, Castile has 100% war score, so that'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Then if we go north, Brittany has expanded a little bit and continues to be somewhat powerful. Normandy, Duke Baldwin of House Normandy, is still around. Let's see here. Trying to see Bohemond, so it's just a little independent duchy here in northern France. But of course, we go over to the channel and take a look at the British Isles. Very interesting to see how this is played out, especially given my 1066 guide to Britain, which I will try to remember to link at the top here. Make a little note of that. And to see how this all kind of played out. So England itself still exists. So we still have the Kingdom of England. It's just tiny right here. And most of the island has been broken up into petty kingdoms. We have a petty kingdom, or kingdom, yes, but it's queen from the House of Shetland in Cornwall. Then we have the house, we have the Kingdom of Lancaster, kind of split up here. Interesting. Then the petty kingdom of Kent. The petty kingdom of Yarna Moda. Let's see, Catholic Norwegian, Catholic Norwegian, Catholic Norwegian, Catholic Anglo-Saxon, Catholic Norwegian controlling the Kingdom of Mercia. Sweden has a toehold in here as well. Then we have Somerset. These are actually Anglo-Saxon, King Elfgar. And then we have the Kingdom of Wales, not petty kingdom. So that's Llewellyn of Mathrafal. Pretty powerful. They've also expanded into Northern Ireland. And we've got the petty kingdom here of Deira that I already mentioned. Then the Duchy of Lothian, which is part of the kingdom, the very powerful kingdom of Scotland. They are allied with Norway and Wales. So that Scotland is the power player here, it looks like. Very, very interesting. And then Ireland is almost completely unified under House Brian. It's Petty King Brian II MacBrien of Munster. But he will have to take on the powers of Wales and Scotland to do much of anything there. Iceland has also expanded. You can see here the Jarldom of Iceland has expanded to include Shetland and so on. Yeah, I think that gives us a nice little base to take a look. If If we look at some of the other tribes that here in the area, we've got now the Kingdom of Estonia under Queen Lane. Then we've got the Latgalian chiefdom under Chiefess Elo. Masuria as well, another chiefdom. Then Somoktia, House Marienburg, so it's the same house here. And then Hungary is also in the region as well. We still have Grand Princess Varvara of Minsk, of House Rurikid Vitebsk, and Petrolov, which is obviously a cadet branch, of the Rurikids, King Rogvolot of the White Rus. So it's, as always, completely insane in the region. And as such, now we will go down here to Vepsia. So still in a war, or is being raided, better said. The military strength is, well, not a whole heck of a lot. If we look at the decisions, declare wars, create the duchy here, what's missing is the money. But once we have the duchy created, we are making another step towards creating our own independent kingdom, which is the goal here. So if we move things forward, now he is married to the Grand Princess, Gertrude Halfnasdatter. So she is Norwegian Catholic, of course. He is Orthodox Russian. No children yet. Most powerful sibling is Count David of Lubin. Tidbits from far away. Visiting the local market, a merchant from a faraway land catches my attention. Come closer, my lord. Marvel at treasures never before seen in these lands. Had to watch my back to get these beauties out. I did, never sleeping with both eyes closed. This merchant might have more to give than marvels from afar. Must be interesting traveling as much as you do. Let's see, what is his character? We're still learning him. So he's a trickster, he's ambitious, zealous, but he is a little fickle. So he changes his mind a lot. Must be interesting traveling as you do. So it's a diplomacy challenge. So there's a 41% outcome. It becomes more vigilant for 3 years, and 50 intrigue lifestyle, 58% chance of spending 75 prestige. Then she will tell me what she knows. You gain 10 dread, more vigilant for 3 years, 25 even, intrigue lifestyle, and a 30% chance that gains threatened merchant, which is a popular opinion of -20. And then this should cover both trinket and information. More vigilant. I mean, we pay for it. That's not what's going to happen. He's aware enough. Don't have a lot of money, so we're going to go with this. And we did not get what we wanted. Instead, we spent the prestige. So, anyway, ticking on. Now, the first thing we need to do is obviously regain our military strength. And what we need to do that is regain our income levels, which right now are very, very, very desperate. It's a difficult situation, but it is definitely not impossible, to say the least. So, if we look at here, we've got Count David of Bezici, who is below us. He is at a war with Yaroslavl, Count Alexei of Yaroslavl. So that's just an internal Vepsian war. Yaroslavl, Alexei also reports to us. He is of the house Rurikid Yaroslavl. Bezici is straight up still house Rurikid. There aren't very many of those left in the world. So our vassals are kind of duking it out here. And then, of course, we've got Count David of Lubin. Over here, our younger brother. So the decisions that have to be made, of course, are first and foremost need to build up a power base. Now, our overall military strength is not too shabby, really. There are about 3,000 through the Allies. Lublin is not at war. Then Halfdan-san, he is not at war. And Greater Poland, he is at war with the Latgalians. So that's the problem there. So the goal here is to go after Novgorod, but we really need to look at some of our weaker neighbors to see if there is something to be done there that we can gain a foothold pretty quickly. They have almost no military power. Question, of course, is do we go into a war with these guys here, who are significantly more powerful? Opolye is also one to keep an eye on. There at this point, they're far too powerful. These guys are really the best bet for us to get after. So we've increased county control. It's good to see and good to know. So what we're going to do here is, let's see here. The problem I have right now is obviously we have a vassal war below us. So that means there's a good chance we will not be able to count on all of our levies, depending on how decimated they currently are. So that's a little bit of a concern, but we'll see. Let's play out this mechanic. Of course, it could really, really not go well. You know, we can't really afford to lose this war. Can we even declare a war? The Alexis claims it would cost 562 prestige. They're vastly inferior. Yeah, but we could add it to us, and that would add more power. So I think that's a way to go. We will move our rally point to down here. And we will now go over here and declare war against this child. Who even stands to get this? Looks like some relative. We're going to end that right now. We're going to declare war, press the claims, and raise all of our armies down to the south. All right. Next things next, we're going to call our allies into the war. Duke of Greater Poland. And it's going to cost us prestige. I don't think we need him. Spain. Yeah, we don't really need him. Alright. So we've got a negative here, but that's okay. Prestige, I'm not worried. We'll gain that pretty quickly. As we win this war, of course, that will help our prestige immensely. We have an enemy to battle there. A Peasant Revolt. Okay. Doesn't really help much there, other than we gained prestige for that. So, it's going to take about 6 months. They're camped on the other side of the river outside of our realm, so I'm not overly concerned about that. Let's take this up a little bit. Let's see. Head of the dynasty has changed. You became the new head of the Rurikid dynasty. Interesting. Your kinsman, Count Yaropol, created Cadet Branch Rurikid. Okay. Count Yaropol replaced you as head of the Rurikid dynasty. Oh, that's great. It didn't last long. And we took the Grand Prince Sveatoslav hostage, so we can already enforce those demands right away. Perfect. You have gained a favor hook on Grand Prince Alexei. Obviously, because we won this for him, we'll disband our military. And we will now go to court. Have any prisoners? No. But we gained a lot of money, which was very, very important. And so we pressed the claim for them, and now they gain that. Pregnancy, my wife is pregnant. Yeah, okay, I was worried that that was a possible side effect. Who are we at war with now? Yaroslav claim of County Tikvin. Grand Principality of Nizhny Novgorod. Grand Prince Alexei. The one we just pressed the claim for? Okay. That's not exactly what we had in mind. But, okay. That's interesting. Well, our allies are here. And, okay. That just caught me a little bit off guard. So let's raise all of our armies. Cradled by death. As the door to the birthing chamber opens, I am not greeted by smiling midwives and a crying baby, but, well, our son passed away. It's always a rough one. Honestly, I hate that when that happens in the game. As a parent, even though this is a virtual world, it's not fun. This, okay, we've got to get out of Dodge. We're not going to be able to get there. Here come our allies, 3,000 strong. They will not get there in time. But having the powerful allies will definitely help. They've split. So our vassal, whom we pressed his claim for, turned around, declared independence, and then attacked us. Yeah, that's a little bit of a rough one, and I don't know where this ally is going. There. Courtier captured in the siege. Well, this is not turning out the way I had hoped, to say the least, as we are being overrun. And, yeah, I mean, our total soldiers, our levies, of course, have gone down. Defeat. Grand Prince Sveatoslav, Vepsia, blessings upon you and your house. This war has gone on for too long. I am glad to put an end to it. I accept your surrender. So be it. Well, that's not cool. Alliance expired. Disband our troops. Available lifestyle perk. I'm gonna go with the truth is relative lifestyle perk. Ransom. And Malfrida, my sister. That's going to cost us 25 gold. And yeah, a rough beginning here for the kid, who immediately has now seen Vepsia shrink. Because of that, now we can no longer create that second duchy title, and we are significantly weakened. Still have pretty good amount of levies. Nizhny Novgorod has powerful allies. Karachev, Chernigov, Novgorod. Yeah. that's the situation now. That turned out really badly as our vassal turned on us after we won a war for them. It looks like Galicia Volhynia fell to pieces, and now Ruthenia is back. Man, crazy Rurikid Rus. So anyway, I'm going to end the episode here. As far as new content coming to the channel, I've got something coming up pretty shortly that I will need your feedback on once it goes out. And then I am planning also on some EU4 content, and I'm working on some ideas for Imperator Rome once the new patch drops. So until next time, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'm the Realm Builder Guy. I'll talk to you soon.